picture this, a fighter jet so advanced that radar can't even see it. Not the F-35. Not the F-22. This is America's rumored 6th-generation stealth fighter, known only as the Ghost. And here's the shocking part. Some defense experts believe it's already flying. Right now, what makes this jet different? Why is it so secret? And most importantly, how will it change the balance of power with Russia and China? That's exactly what we're breaking down in this video. But before we dive in, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, and drop a comment below. Your support helps us keep delivering clear, no-nonsense analysis on the future of military power. So, let's step inside the shadows and uncover the truth behind America's Ghost fighter jet. So what actually makes this fighter 6th generation? Because let's be honest, the F-35 is already a beast. Stealthy, networked, versatile. So how do you top that? Here's the answer. The Ghost isn't just a jet. It's a flying system of systems. First, it's powered by AI-assisted flight controls. That means the pilot doesn't have to waste brainpower managing the aircraft. Instead, they focus purely on tactics and the fight. Second, it's adaptive stealth skin. Unlike today's stealth jets, the Ghost can literally change how it looks to radar. In one mission, it's invisible. In another, it can spoof enemy sensors, tricking radars into seeing it somewhere else entirely. And third, drone integration. The Ghost is designed to command entire swarms of autonomous drones. That means one jet can multiply into dozens of eyes, ears, and weapons in the sky. But here's the twist. Even with all of this tech, the most impressive feature of the Ghost might not be its hardware. It could be the way it fights. Stealth is one thing, but speed and range are what turn the Ghost from a secret project into a true game-changer. Here's what we know and what we can guess. The Ghost is rumored to have adaptive cycle engines. Engines that shift gears mid-flight for efficiency or raw power. That means it can cruise quietly one moment, and then push toward hypersonic speeds the next. Imagine a fighter jet that moves so fast, enemy air defenses have seconds, not minutes, to react. That's not just an upgrade. That's survival. And then there's range. Where today's fighters often rely on tankers and forward bases, the Ghost could fly much farther on its own. We're talking deep strike missions into contested zones, without announcing its presence, and without needing backup fuel every few hours. But speed and range are only half the story, because the real revolution comes when the Ghost starts fighting with an entire team of drones. Here's where the Ghost fighter steps into the future, because it doesn't fight alone. Instead, it flies with loyal wingmen. These aren't pilots in the cockpit, they're AI-powered drones. Think about it. The Ghost acts as the quarterback, while dozens of drones play offense and defense. Some scout ahead, mapping enemy radars. Others jam communications, blinding air defenses. And a few, they're armed, ready to strike targets on command. That means the Ghost doesn't have to put itself in danger every time. It can send its drones in first, probing defenses, soaking up missiles, or even striking high-value targets. And here's the kicker. One Ghost jet could control an entire swarm. Not just 2 or 3 drones, but potentially dozens. This is where Russia and China face their biggest problem. Because even if they take down one jet, they're still outnumbered by its unmanned partners. But here's the twist. This isn't just about American power. Allied nations are working on their own versions of this technology. And that could change the balance of the skies for decades. The Ghost isn't just an American project. It's part of a much bigger picture, one that stretches across NATO and allied partners. Take the UK's Tempest program. It's developing a fighter with many of the same 6th-generation traits. Drone teaming, advanced stealth, and AI-assisted systems. Meanwhile, Japan's FX fighter is set to bring next-level tech to the Pacific. And Australia? It's already testing its own loyal wingman drones to work alongside US aircraft. When you look at these projects together, you start to see the strategy. It's not just about one country fielding a superjet. It's about building an allied ecosystem of 6th-gen aircraft, designed to share data, coordinate strikes, and cover the skies from Europe to the Indo-Pacific. And here's the question. If NATO and its allies field these jets by the 2030s, can Russia and China keep up? Here's the thing about the Ghost fighter jet. Almost everything about it is classified. The Pentagon rarely admits it exists. When they do, it's just a shadowy silhouette in a press release or a carefully staged mock-up at an air show. No hard specs. No public flight footage. Why? Because secrecy is its biggest weapon. If rivals don't know what it can do, they can't plan against it. And history gives us a clue. The F-117 Nighthawk flew in total secrecy for years before anyone outside the program even knew it existed. By the time the public saw it, it had already changed the battlefield. So here's the question. Is the Ghost still on the drawing board? Or is it already flying, quietly testing over American skies while the world looks the other way? One thing's certain. The less we see, the more we wonder. And when the curtain finally lifts, it could redefine air combat as we know it. America's Ghost fighter jet isn't just another aircraft. It could be the start of a whole new era of air dominance, one built on stealth, AI, and drone swarms. But here's the truth. We still don't know everything. Most details remain hidden, locked behind Pentagon secrecy. And that means the real capabilities, the real story, are still unfolding. So what do you think? Is this jet America's ultimate edge? Or are we watching the early sparks of a dangerous new arms race? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your take. And before you go, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. It helps us keep bringing you clear, fact-based analysis on the biggest defense stories shaping our world. If you want to keep going, check out our breakdown on Russia's $1.2 billion tank army and why it's failing in Ukraine. I'll link it right here. Until next time, stay sharp and stay informed. What if I told you the U.S. Air Force may already be flying a jet so advanced it makes today's F-22 and F-35 look outdated? We're talking about America's rumored sixth-generation Ghost fighter. A stealth aircraft so secretive, almost nothing about it is officially confirmed. And yet, defense insiders suggest it could already be in the skies. So what makes this mysterious fighter different? How does it push beyond the limits of stealth we already know? And most importantly, what does it mean for the balance of power with Russia and China? Cinematic, photorealistic image of a futuristic stealth fighter jet emerging from darkness inside a massive hangar. Low dramatic lighting, glowing outlines on the jet's body, 16:9 aspect ratio, sharp focus, professional military documentary style. Here's where the Ghost takes a giant leap beyond anything flying today. It doesn't enter the fight alone. Instead, it brings a team of loyal wingman drones. These aren't just support craft, they're AI-driven partners built to scout, jam, and strike. Picture this. The Ghost sends drones ahead to map enemy radars and expose air defenses. Others move in to jam communications and blind missile systems. And a select few carry weapons, ready to strike without risking the manned jet. In this role, the Ghost becomes more than a fighter. It's the quarterback in a digital battle, directing the play, calling the shots, and keeping human pilots out of the most dangerous zones. And here's the kicker. It's scalable. One Ghost doesn't just fly with 2 or 3 drones. It could command dozens at once, creating a swarm that overwhelms defenses. For Russia or China, this changes the math completely. Even if they lock on to the Ghost, they're still surrounded by a fleet of autonomous attackers. But this revolution isn't limited to the US. Allies are building their own versions of drone fighter integration, and together they could reshape the skies. The Ghost isn't just an American project. It's a signal to NATO and key allies like the UK and Australia. Why? Because modern air power isn't fought alone. It's fought as a coalition. Imagine joint exercises where a US Ghost flies alongside a British Tempest fighter, or Australia's loyal wingman drones. Each aircraft brings its own strengths, but when connected through secure data links, they form a single, unified air force. That means a Ghost launched from a US carrier in the Pacific could pass targeting data to a Royal Air Force squadron, or even direct an Australian drone swarm over contested waters. For adversaries, that's a nightmare. It's not one nation they face. It's an entire alliance operating as if it were one force. And the implications run deeper. Shared technology means lower costs, faster upgrades, and stronger deterrence. It ensures no single ally falls behind. In short, the Ghost isn't just about American dominance. It's about cementing Western air superiority for the next generation. But the big question remains. What's the real mission behind the Ghost? Offensive strike, defense, or something even more secret? So here's the big question. What exactly is the Ghost built to do? On the surface, it looks like the next evolution of the fighter jet. Faster, stealthier, and deadlier. But insiders suggest something different. This aircraft isn't designed for one-on-one dogfights like the F-22. It's designed for penetration missions deep inside enemy territory. That means slipping past layers of radar, striking command centers, and crippling defenses before a wider war even begins. In other words, the Ghost may be less about air-to-air combat, and more about strategic disruption. Think about it. A jet that can fly thousands of miles without tankers, command drone swarms, and coordinate with NATO allies. That's not just a fighter. It's a force multiplier. And there's another layer: secrecy. If the US is revealing small details now. So now you've seen what America's Ghost fighter could mean for the future of air combat. It's stealthier, faster, and smarter. But maybe its greatest strength is what we don't know yet. Because here's the truth. The Ghost isn't just a jet. It's a message to rivals that the US and its allies are already planning for the wars of tomorrow. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think the Ghost will change warfare forever? Or is it still just hype until we see it fly? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you hit subscribe and tap that bell. That way, you won't miss our next deep dive into the weapons shaping modern conflict. While you're here, check out our video on Russia's $1.2 billion tank army and why it's failing in Ukraine. Connects directly to what we've just explored. And trust me, you don't want to miss it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.